Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is June 12, 2024, and we are getting into the volume 214 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, I'm going to mention, as I mentioned in every video on this channel, I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course Department of State, always their visa bulletin, which is as of 2-3 days, the brand new, actually 2 days, on Monday, the brand new visa bulletin for July 2024 came out. So if you have not seen update on that, check it out. It is uploaded on this channel. So let's start with the very first. Looks like from Stories That Touch. Thanks for the updates. You're very welcome. I'm glad these are helpful. Moving further to Nayash Acharya, sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Hello sir, I had applied for the immigration petition on 14th March of 2016. Now my case has been approved by USCIS and NVC has sent me the notice of being documentarily qualified. Great, congratulations. My visa class is F11, so F1 subcategory, F11. Unmarried, 21 years and above, son, daughter of US citizen. I fall under all chargeability areas. How long should I expect for my visa interview to be scheduled? I was documentarily qualified on 15th of April 2023. Thank you for your response in advance. Also, what pressing steps are to be expected and things I need to prepare for the interview? What questions are possible and how to answer them? Thank you. All right, so very first thing, let's take a look at the visa bulletin. I'm gonna look at the July. We're still in June, so keep that in mind, but I'm gonna take a look at the July visa bulletin and see. So you are priority date in March 2016, F1, all chargeability area, you're already documentarily qualified. So we're going to be looking at the graph A, filing action dates for all chargeability. Right now for F1, it is on October 2015 and you are in March 2016. That means that you still have, so from March to back to October, from October to March, more like it, less than a year. If we see the consistent movement, and specifically for F1, it has been a really good movement on July visa bulletin. So if we see that consistently, it's gonna be pretty good. So you're pretty close to being current, but even 6-7 months roughly to becoming current. Let's see, from October to March, so we have November, December, and then January, February, March. So like 5 months if visa bulletin keeps moving 1 month at a time. But here's the thing. Depending on where you are in the world and how busy the US Embassy is in that country, you are looking at potentially another year and a half waiting for the interview to be scheduled. The interview is scheduled pretty quickly. It's just you're waiting for the interview to be announced, because they cannot announce the interview 30 days earlier before the actual interview date. Now, as far as the expectations, once you get the interview announced, the interview date, you will have to do you will have 30 days to do the medical examination before the interview date. Just get it done as soon as possible. Pretty straightforward. I do have a video on this channel on approximately what to expect during the medical examination. And as far as the questions during the interview, nothing crazy, because in your category, really, you're only establishing, it's very easy to establish a relationship. You're a child, son, not a child anymore because you're over 21, you're in F1, but your parents, you need to establish the parental relationship, right? Pretty straightforward. You're showing the birth certificate, you're showing the documents, your mom and dad's passports, the copies, showing that they really are your parents. Pretty straightforward. And also establish the intention to immigrate. So the questions might be like, what are you planning to do in the United States? Where are you going to live? Are you going to live with your parents because they're petitioning for you? What kind of work are you planning to do? Just to establish that you already made some plans, you made some, you done some analyzing and some thinking on what you're going to do in the United States. And that's really it. So 2 more things, it's medical examination and the interview. On both, I do have the videos on this channel, so check it out. you're pretty close, so might start, preparing for those. And good luck. Once you do have your interview scheduled, please come back to this channel and let us know that it was scheduled. I do have the list. Let me know, and that goes for everyone who's watching these videos. If you had your interview scheduled recently, please comment, let me know which country you're from, which category, and how long you waited. I do have the list that I'm making, just so that, when people ask, I can be a little bit more specific and not just say, oh, well, average time is about a year and a half, depending on which country, but I actually know, for that specific country. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Juan XOX. If the I-130 form was approved, I need to fill the I-486 even though the petitioner is a child under 21 and I'm a US citizen. Please help. Okay, Juan, I think there's a little bit of a confusion. So whenever it comes to the I'm pretty sure it's I-485. Let me double check because I don't think it's I-486. Yeah, it's I-485, application to register permanent residence, not I-486. And you only do that, you work with that if the beneficiary is in the United States. Petitioner obviously should be in the United States because they're the petitioner. And then petitioner cannot be under 21 because they have to establish that they can be a successful sponsor. Okay, so I'm assuming you're talking about the beneficiary and not the petitioner. So if the beneficiary is in the United States, then yes, you will have to, once your I-130 is approved, you will have to do the I-485 to be processed in the United States. If they are outside of the United States, you don't have to worry about the I-485 because it will be going through the National Visa Center, through NVC. So yeah, please clarify that, let me know. I'm gonna put more info needed. And I'll do that, and we're gonna move on to the next one. From Lily Bell, looks like there's a couple comments in there. Hi sir, I am in the F1 category. My priority date is October 13, 2015. So you are current as of July, I think, October 13, 2015. And that's the 22nd. So you are before. So it's already on 22nd and you're in the 13th. Yeah, so you're gonna be current as of July. I don't think you're still current as of June, but let me double check. But as of July, you're definitely gonna be current, which is definitely great news. But let's see June. I'm pretty sure there was a significant movement for July. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so we are still looking at July back in June. So yeah, definitely. So you have about what, a little bit over than 2 weeks. And then once we are in July, you're going to be current. So that's definitely great news. So I was documentarily qualified in 2021. So you were documentarily qualified a while ago. I did not hear anything from NVC about my interview, which is normal. You don't really need to hear anything else from NVC besides the fact that you are documentarily qualified. That's it. Once you're documentarily qualified, you're done with NVC. NVC sends your case to the US Embassy, and once you are current on the visa bulletin, US Embassy schedules the interview. Next month, you're going to be current on the visa bulletin. That's when the interview is going to be scheduled. Not next month, but they schedule it in their system depending on how busy the US Embassy is, and on average, like I said earlier, about a year. So you still have some time to wait, depending on which country you're from and how busy US Embassy is in that country. You still have some time to wait, but you're really, really close. Can you please advise me what to do next? There's really not much else you need to do. Just wait to get the announcement. Like I said, it can be, another year and a half. It can be less. Again, it depends on which country you're from. But once you do get your interview scheduled, please come back to this channel. Let us know which country you're from, which category once again, and how long you waited for the interview to be scheduled, because that would be really helpful. And Pauline Thomas says, you are now current, will soon hear from NVC. Well, technically not right now current, because we're still in June, and it's for the July that Lily Bell becomes current, but almost there, literally almost there. A few more weeks, once we're in July, you are current. So let me post the response and we're gonna move on to the next one from DD24. Hi sir, good day. I have been monitoring the graphs, both A and B, specifically for F1. For graph B, it hasn't moved for close to a year now. Any explanation for that? Great question, DD24. So when I was talking about, when I do these comparisons with the visa bulletin, you know, the previous one, the current one, most of the times when there is a significant movement on graph A, it does not reflect on the graph B, because graph B is dependent on the graph B and on the graph A, and it does not update as fast as the graph A. As of right now, specifically if we're talking about F1, you will see that there is roughly about 2 years, and that's normal. That's approximately how long they want to keep that gap between you being documentarily qualified and your immigrant visa becoming available. They try to keep it about 1.5 years, sometimes 2 years, sometimes less, but about 2 years is normal. That is why you really don't see as much of a movement. That's one of the reasons that I can tell you. Now, exactly how it works, whether there is the same department that is looking at the graph B as the one that are looking at the graph A, and the same update process that they use. Let's say, you know, there is availability for immigrant visas, or there is that amount of immigrant visas that is issued in a certain month, so they're keeping up with the backlog on the graph A. Do they immediately look at the graph B and immediately update it? Doesn't seem like it's the case. That's why I kind of suspect that there might be a little bit of, you know, maybe different departments, maybe different people are working on these different graphs. That's really one of the things that I can think of, but that's normal, you know. The gap right now, that's what we really need to look at what is the gap between the graph A and graph B. And if it is within 2 years, then it is completely fine, because it really doesn't make much sense to become documentarily qualified, you know, 3, 4, 5 years before your immigrant visa becoming available anyway. And even 2 years is a long gap, because you become documentarily qualified 2 years, and then your immigrant visa becomes available, and then the interview is scheduled another year ahead. So by the time you go to the interview, there's already 3 years from the time you became documentarily qualified. And that can cause, you know, unnecessary issues, because there might be a lot of updates in, you know, prospective immigrants' life, and the consul who's taking the interview, they might deem necessary to request additional documents. So yeah, I think it's going to be updated, especially because we've seen significant movement on the graph A for the July. So I think in the next few visa bulletins editions, we're going to see some big updates for the graph B for people becoming documentarily qualified. But great question. Thanks for asking. Let's move on to the next one from Miriama Jallo. Hello, sir. Good morning. My category is F2B. My priority date is May 11, 2016. And my NVC is documentarily complete in October 7, 2021. All right. So you've been documentarily qualified for a while now. How long will I wait for my interview, please? Okay. So let's take a look at the priority. I'm going to look at all chargeability area. So you are F2B and you are in May 2016. So as of July. Okay, wow. So as of July, 1st May, and you are May 11. Okay, so you're gonna be current. Well, you're May 11 and it's May 1. May 11 and May 1. So you're gonna be like 10 days close to being current. So if not July, then August, you're definitely gonna be current. So within the next few months, you're definitely gonna be current on the visa bulletin if we see the consistent movement for the F2B, which I think we will. But let me just double check June and see what we had for the F2B. All right, so yes, so we definitely seen some movement from April to May. So if we see the same movement, yeah, you're definitely going to be current in the next couple months, which is great. And once you're current, it depends which country you are, how busy the US Embassy is. Your interview is scheduled quickly. Once your immigrant visa is available, your interview is scheduled. You're not going to find out because they can only announce the interview 30 days before the interview is scheduled. So for example, let's say on July 15th, they schedule your interview for February 1st, 2025. Somewhat realistic date if you're in a country where, the US Embassy is not as busy. You're not going to find out until January 1st, 2025, because they can only announce that interview 30 days before the interview date so that you can do the medical examination with. It's inconvenient because you stay most of the time in the dark, not knowing when the interview is scheduled for. There is actually a talk from the Department of State, which has been going on for some time now, that they're going to extend it from 30 days to 6 months, which is a lot better. I would rather know, well, my interview is 6 months down the road instead of waiting another 5 months not knowing. So hopefully that happens. But yeah, you're gonna be current in the next months or two max. And yeah, on average it's about a year that people are waiting for their interviews after becoming current, after they're scheduled. Usually there is a wait time about a year. It used to be a little less, but with the whole pandemic situation that been going on a couple of years ago, it increased those times. But hopefully they will catch up. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the next one from Nicola Lynch. Hello sir, my category is F3 and priority date is October 3, 2010. I have not uploaded any documents to NVC as yet. Do you think this is my time to be documentarily qualified? Okay, let's take a look. So we're looking at graph B, Nicola, for you. So F3, I'm going to look at all chargeability area. And you are in October 2010. So this is July, F3. Oh wow, October 2010. So you are October 3. So yeah, like July next month. Let me double check June to make sure, because sometimes you could have been already pretty close in June as well. Whoops, caps lock. June, F3. Yeah, no, definitely there was a movement. So yeah, exactly pretty much the same situation as the previous commenter, Mariama. Next couple months, you're gonna be current on the graph B. So expect the good thing about this though, once you are current on the graph B, the NVC portal opens up and you know it immediately. All right, you get the notification. It's not like with the interview where your visa becomes available, but you're still waiting because they don't announce the interview before 30 days before the interview. Unlike that, NVC portal, it opens up. So in the next couple of months, your NVC portal is going to be opening up. So my recommendation for you is start preparing to become documentarily qualified. I do have a video on this channel. It's called Documentarily Qualified. What does that mean? And there's something else in the title. But basically in the video, I show an actual NVC portal that was already documentarily qualified, and you can see all of the forms that you need to fill out. It's going to be DS260, which I do have the separate video on how to fill it out. You don't have access to it now. You're going to have access once it opens up in the next couple months. Affidavit of support, what kind of fees you need to pay, what kind of documents you need to upload. So if you can start preparing and collecting all of these documents, once it opens up, you can become documentarily qualified pretty quickly, hopefully on the first shot, if everything is prepared. So it will make the process a lot easier. But you're very close. And David and Jenga says your PD is not current yet, or wait for the next visa bulletin. Yeah, so next visa bulletin is July, which is going to be active in what? 18 days. 18, 19 days. Let's move on to the next one from Namatsad. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Category F2A and priority date December 7, 2020. And NVC accept all documents on August 3, 2023. How long does it take for the embassy to schedule visa interview? All right, let's make sure. I'm pretty sure you're current. So you're F2A. I'm going to look at all chargeability area. December 2020. So yes, you definitely are current because it's not now. It's on November 2021, and you are December 2020. So your interview has already been scheduled. You just don't know it yet because you are not within those 30 days before the interview. But it really depends on how long you have been current on the visa bulletin. So I'm assuming you've been current since you are December 2020. It is about a year, correct? Yes. But the thing is, with the visa bulletin, it has not been moving 1 month every month, especially for F2A. In the past few months, we have seen significant jumps on the F2A. So yes, you are 1 year ahead, roughly, but you could have been current for only about 6 months. Doesn't matter though. If you have been waiting for about 6 months, if you have been current for about 6 months, like I said, on average, the wait time on average in the countries where the immigration flow is not as heavy as some, for example, Philippines, Mexico, people are waiting for, especially, in Philippines, I know because I have it written down, about 2.5 years wait after becoming current on the visa bulletin for the interview to be scheduled. 2.5 years. In countries where it's not immigration traffic is not as heavy, between year and a half. So assuming that you have been current on the visa bulletin for 6 months, roughly, you have potentially somewhere between 6 months and a year before your interview is announced to you. I'm pretty sure it is already scheduled because they schedule it pretty quickly. Once you're current, they schedule it. You just don't know it yet because they can only announce 30 days before the actual interview date. So once you do get that interview date, please come back. Please let me know the country where you're from, again the category, and how long you've been waiting after becoming current on the visa bulletin, because that's really the timelines that we are all looking for, and it's different for literally every single country, every single US embassy around the world. The wait time is different. What you can do, because you have been current for some time now, you can reach out to the US embassy in the country where you're going to be going through the interview and let them know that you're F2A category, that you have been current for however long you've been current, 6 months, 4 months, and tell them that, ask them if they can let you know when your interview was scheduled for, or at least how long approximately the wait time for these interviews currently is. Don't be upset if they don't tell you. Sometimes they just say, no, we can't give you that information. Say, sorry, it's okay. No problem at all. No point of arguing with them. But it is worth a shot because over the phone, it's unofficial announcement. So they can sometimes give you that information. And even if they can't, sometimes they might tell you, oh, right now we are approximately a year and 2 months wait for these interviews. And then you can know because you already waited for 6 months or however long you've been waited, and you can do the math and answer your own question. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so Otis Burnett says, doing a great job, sir. Otis, thank you for watching. Glad this is helpful. Let's move on to the next one from Puvandri Johnson. Puvandri Johnson. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing, probably am. This is a complicated question. My daughter filed for adjustment of status using date of filing using I'm assuming F1 category. Okay. She used the EAD to secure employment as a research scientist. Great. We filed her I-130 when we were permanent residents. Huh. That's strange. In the July 2024 visa bulletin, the F2B category final action date looks like it would be current before the F1 category. My question, can we file for adjustment again using the F2B category? No, we use the lawyer to file adjustment of status for F1 category. Okay, so Puvan, sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. So you were permanent residents when you petitioned for your daughter, when you submitted the I-130, which means that your daughter was in F2B originally. So for permanent residents petitioning for their children over 21, I know USCIS don't qualify them as children, sons and daughters over 21 who are unmarried, F2B category. US citizens petitioning for their sons and daughters over 21, unmarried, F1 category. So you can switch from F2B to F1 if during, while the petition is pending, you become US citizen. But there is no going from F1 to F2B because F2B is for permanent residents. I questioning a little bit the original category because I'm pretty sure the original category is supposed to be F2B and F1. Unless you became a US citizen in the process and it was updated to F1, your attorney updated it to F1, then it makes sense. But you couldn't have as permanent residents petition for your daughter in F1, all right? But at the end of the day, regardless of whether she's F1 or F2B, let me tell you, don't worry about it because it really is hit and miss. Next month we can look at the visa bulletin and F1 might be doing better than F2B. 2 months we're gonna look at the visa bulletin and F2B is gonna do better than F1. That's how it's been for the past, I don't even know how long. Ever since I started making this video, that's how it was, and before that, that's how it was. It was just, you cannot really, it's a gamble. Sometimes I actually seen people switch from F2B to F1 because F1 was doing better, and literally like 2 months later, F2B was doing better again than F1. So it really doesn't matter which category she's going through. Really the best part about your case is that she is here in the United States, which sounds like from your comment, and she does have employment authorization and she's working here. That's great. I think every family here watching these videos, that's what they would wish, the kind of opportunity, so that the relative that they're petitioning for could be here in the United States with them, and you have that, so that's great. So honestly, I wouldn't even worry about doing any kind of switching, but I would it would be helpful if you verify which category that she is in. If you are US citizens now, then most likely it was already updated to F1, or you do have an option to update from F2B to F1. The best way to tell is log into the NVC portal if you have access to it, which in the July 2024, you didn't tell me your priority date, so I don't know if you have access to NVC already or not. But if you do, log into the NVC portal and it should tell you the category at the top right corner. It says the category, the chargeability area, and the priority date. All right, so let's move on to the next one, probably our last comment for today, from Paolo Dom. Good day, sir. Thanks for the updates you have been giving. I am F1, priority date May 2016, and documentarily qualified is November 2022. Country is Ghana, so all chargeability area. I would like to know if my category will be moving faster, looking at the great movement in July 2024 visa bulletin. Okay, so you are May 2016, F1. So let's see what's going on as of July. F1 is on October 2015. So you still have about November, December, January, February, March, April, May. About 6-7 months. So that is a rough estimate, because for the F1 we have seen a movement of, let's see, so right now on July, as of July, in July it's going to be on October. For June it was in July. So from June to July there was August, September, October. There was 3 months movement ahead. So if we see the same 3 months movement in the next few visa bulletin editions, you're gonna be current in couple of months. But even if we see 1 month every month in the next 5-6 visa bulletin editions, then roughly you're looking at about 6 months before you're current on the visa bulletin. So 6 months roughly to be current on the visa bulletin, possibly less if we see good movement. And then Ghana, unfortunately I don't have on my list Ghana yet. If anybody is from Ghana and you're watching this video and you had your interview scheduled, please let me know. Say, I am from Ghana, I was in F2A category, for example, whatever category you were, and I was waiting for 9 months for my interview to be scheduled. That's it. After becoming current on the visa bulletin, I will write it down on my list and I'm gonna know how long the wait time is for Ghana. But roughly, like I said in this video earlier, about year and a half. Tell us about your experience on travel state. I'm not gonna answer that. But yeah, so about 6 months to become current on the visa bulletin, possibly less, and then about year and a half. So potentially you're looking at another 2 years before the interview is scheduled. Possibly a lot less. Again, it really depends. But hopefully this was helpful. Thank you everyone for watching these videos. If you have any follow-up questions, let me know in the comments below. Just don't post them under my response, because I don't see those notifications. I don't get the notifications for responses to my comment in your comment. Just post it as a separate comment on any of the videos and it will show up here on this wall, and I'll try to address it in one of the next Q&A videos that I do. Thank you very much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.